Now, I haven't cared about this world for quite some time, for more than a decade, and that's because I quit playing sports, so I inherently stopped watching the Olympics. But I've been seeing a lot of religious and non-religious people going back and forth about the Olympics depicting the Last Supper and it being blasphemous, and it's been a lot of back and forth. And then the I guess the massive power outage in Paris, and there's like a photo of power outage, and then there's like one building that has power, and it looks like a church. And a lot of religious people are going back and forth still about how it's sick and rightfully so. They shouldn't have mocked it. My question is to everybody: the people that put it on. Um, I would assume you did a lot of research before you put all that together to say this shouldn't offend anybody. Because I mean that's what the world we're in right now, of the not trying to offend anybody, don't appropriate cultures. If you're not from that culture, don't do what that culture did because it's appropriation, aka mocking. Um, if we're in that world now, where where in the French mind did they say this doesn't fall under that? Because me personally, I don't. From what I've heard, it's not the Greek national team that put on all the various displays of things. Did the Last Supper thing? People were trying to say, "Oh, that's the Feast of Dionysus. That's supposed to be the Feast of Dionysus, the one who held the games," and blah blah blah. But if those aren't the Greek national team doing that display, or representatives of the Greek national team, why are the French doing a feast of Dionysus? That would be appropriation of culture, like the pure definition of appropriation of culture. And then you have people that say, "Oh well, um, it's uh, it's a way their way of paying homage and ode." And again, if I was Greek, I would say that is nonsense. That is not an ode to my heritage, because what in that says these are the best of the best athletes from around the world who are going to be partaking in a series of events. None of that says that. I saw quite a few videos of the various performances. I'll just say that, and the things talked about of those performances, and things that shouldn't be seen during some of those performances and displays. But again, this my point of it all is it's all a bunch of hypocrisy. All of it's hypocrisy, because taking away the religious aspect, I don't care what they were doing, what in all of those displays was supposed to sell that those are the world's top athletes. If if I had never ever known anything about the Olympics, and I only kind of heard about the Olympic Games from school, and I saw that, I wouldn't associate it with um, the best of the best athletes from around the world. I would associate it with some type of theatrical performance show, like a concert or the world's top entertainers coming together for whatever. If the name Olympics wasn't associated with the Olympic Games in ancient Greece, then I wouldn't have known that that's what that was for. I wouldn't have known that the 2024 Paris Olympics was a sporting event, were the top physically fit athletes from around the world that compete in summer style games. I wouldn't have known that. So my point is forget about the religious aspect. When do we get back to not lying about what we're selling and selling the truth? Because the truth doesn't need to be sold. You just say it and it's the truth. We can see that it's the truth. But with that display, we can see that everything that is attempted to be sold to us is 100% a lie. Because none of that said Olympics to me. It said, look, world, this is what we're okay with. We're okay with doing all this over outlandish stuff. Please buy into us because we're becoming more and more accepting of less people want to get angry, the weird stuff. Like the world shouldn't be okay with all this weird. Like I come from the world of weird. My friends and groups of friends that I grew up with were the weird kids. The kids that loved horror movies. Like what happened to just the weird kids being weird kids and watching weird movies? The B-rated movies, the horror films that no one likes. Like when did it become okay for the rest of the world to be weird? Y'all need to go back to being normal because you're weirding me out. And I'm already fucking weird. That's basically all I had to say because I've literally just seen nothing more than that. Because again, like I'll always come back to this shit is just a distraction. Another distraction that's put up to say, hey, don't pay attention to what's going on in the United States with our politics because our country's under siege right now. Not from just people coming in on tourist visas and thinking it's what tourists do. They rip up a bunch of monuments and tear things down and shred things and burn things. Because if I was on a tourist visa from another country with 1,000 other people and we try to do that in another country talking about something that's going on in America, we would all be in prison. And the only way we can be let go would be the United States making a trade for us because we would be considered terrorists. So this Olympic shit, this is a waste of time worrying about the Olympics. In a few months, we will be deciding whether our borders are going to stay open, be flooded with illegal migrants who are here not to further the American way, but to literally bring their way here and make our society conform to them. This is what's happening in this country. Our country and the American dream, everybody thinks is still no, this that dream is under siege. The American people are under siege by migrants from other countries, illegal immigrants from other countries who've already destroyed their country. Their country doesn't look that way only because their government. If they were such a powerful people, like they're trying to show here, literally they come over here in tourist visas and tear our monuments up in our capital. That's a tourist for you. That's them being a tourist. What do you think them waging war on you would look like? It would look like a lot worse than that. It would be a lot worse than that. People in this country who are fighting and arguing rights for people in this country are treated far worse for the exact same stuff. They're not released within 24 hours of being arrested for inciting riot activity, desecration of public property, desecration of a property on foreign soil. You're here on a tourist visa, and the first thing you do is whip out a can of spray paint and start spray painting everywhere. This is why we need to stop paying attention to these Olympic games and these stage performances, because the only stage that matters right now in this country of the United States of America is the stage of politics, because we have people who are supposed to be the entertainers of the particular stages we put them in. They've thought and come up with this idea that they're not just performers and representatives on those stages. No, we are the ones that hold the power because we are on these stages. And we need to go back to that. Politicians on specific levels of government are nothing more than a representative of that stage. So when I say a federal politician, a politician on the federal level, they are nothing more than a actor. They're an entertainer on the world stage. That's it. You are only to speak my voice, and this improving thing that we've been seeing, this needs to go away, because that's what's happening. These stage puppets are getting up on their platform stages, and they're trying to sever their strings from us, who actually control them. A federal politician is nothing more than a puppet on a world scale. That's it. You deal with the other puppets around the world. That's it. You state governments, your state level puppets. You're our state level puppets. So you don't control anything. So this thinking that you own and control everything. You own and control absolutely nothing that the American people don't allow you to own and control. And since we have been allowing you to own and control everything, we see that's what's gotten us. We really have. We see what has gotten us. Same with you city folk, you city officials. You city officials are nothing more than the first line of defense for the ones that live on the ground. So you guys need to get back to what your actual jobs and priorities are, because it's not making yourself money. No, it's not. I don't care what you got to say. If it was up to me, there would be no such thing as a paycheck to a single politician. Not a single politician would get a paycheck, because it's not your job to be paid. It's your job to make sure that the country is being paid. And while, yes, you're part of it, we are more part of this country than you are. That's why we've dwindled the millions of voices down to hundreds of voices. Because you all are supposed to be our voice as one, not a bunch of voices trying to make more money than the people they're trying to govern. Because as long as you can make the most money and more money, you'll be able to govern better. No, it actually changes the way you govern. If you see you can make more money governing a certain way, why would you govern the right way when you can govern this specific way and make more money doing it? Because governing the right way, you're not making money. You're making friends. You're making enemies. You're making a stance in the world. Because I don't care how much money you got. The only stance you'll have in the world with all the money in the world is you be trying to get up as high as you can so that you don't get ripped down. Because the people in need will eventually come for you. Because you have done the most evil thing you can do. You've worried about how fat your pockets are over the people who are paying you's pockets. We can't pay you if we don't have anything to pay you with. And you think we want to pay you with something that we can barely afford to have ourselves? No, we don't. So again, stop focusing on the Olympic stuff. It's all distraction. Our world of politics right now is literally the most important world in this country, in the United States. Let the rest of the world, let Europe and the rest of the world bitch, moan, and complain about the Olympics. We send the best of the best athletes. We already seen what Simone Biles is doing. She's jumping over 7 feet tall. She's getting over, it's like 7 feet 8 inches. Her body, the highest point of her body, the lowest point of her body is 7 feet 8 inches. We already know the best of the best of the United States athletics are going to represent, and we will. The Olympics isn't for that anymore. It's to sell on a distraction to get you complaining about whatever. We need to get back to politics. We only have so many months to get all the evidence out into the world or out into the United States public that needs to be gotten out. We Politics needs wholeheartedly exposed for what it truly is and is going to be in the future. We need to do that before November. We need to do a clean slating of politics. And I'm not talking about, yeah, go vote for Orange Man or go vote for Identity Crisis. I'm not saying that. I'm saying go out and do your due diligence. Find the politics. Because you'll see. You will see. That's why I've gone kind of off the deep end with all this right now, is because I've gotten back into doing the research of it. And I'm not going to sit here and school people. We need people to actually school themselves. We've already learned that the education system was a scam and a sham, and it was meant to put a bunch of crap into your head that you'll never ever use, because they knew that you wouldn't use most of it. Because rather than finding out what you're particularly good at, that they could literally, they knew when you were a child. They would much rather stuff garbage into your head to turn you into a Kroger bagger for the rest of your life. So go out, do your due diligence, homeschool yourself and your children. Stop believing in a system that will never fix itself until we fix it for it. In the meantime, try to have a great day, stay positive, and kick it up. Kick up the dust. Because there's something beautiful underneath. We just got to kick up all this dust to get at it. Peace out, Girl Scout.